Hey everyone, this is Wonder Platinum. Welcome to another Wonder stream. And this game did already come out, and I already played through it. But fuck it, I'm gonna show it anyway. This is Superhot, and barring any big surprises, this is probably my game of the year, actually. So yeah, we're just gonna go in there. We're gonna mess around. But yeah, this game came out a few years ago as a prototype, like a proof of concept kind of thing on Steam Greenlight. Or, I'm sorry, they made a proof of concept a few years ago that they released as a demo through Unity. And then it had a Kickstarter campaign, and they expanded it pretty considerably. And back when I played the original demo, I was like, this is a cool concept. But then after seeing the whole thing and after the game came out, like this might be like Tetris. I would say this is probably like it's not Tetris because nothing can be Tetris, but it is probably the closest thing to Tetris in terms of like an almost Zen sort of state in terms of gameplay and stuff like that. Like I've honestly like the main campaign is pretty short, but I've honestly been like playing it like all weekend. Like this game is pretty incredible. So the main gimmick of Superhot is that time only moves when you do. It's a first-person shooter in terms of the basic gameplay framework, but it is closer in spirit to like a puzzle game because the main thing is just getting through rooms of androgynous digital computer dudes and shit. Which way are they going? Okay. Shit. All right. So as you can see, okay, and now I'm dead. But yeah, the main premise is getting through rooms of computer dudes, and right now I'm just playing around in endless mode, which honestly has been eating up the majority of my time. The main campaign you can get through in about an hour or two, like give or take, depending on how how you get through it. But like honestly, I think the campaign has a really solid like kind of hook. I really like it plays with a lot of concepts, and I think it's actually done pretty well considering how minimalist the approach is. Like it straight up has a lot of like transhumanism concepts and stuff like that, and I always am a sucker for like virtual reality kind of stuff like that. As far as I know, from what I understand, this game is like Oculus compatible. So on the PC version, which came out a couple months ago, I am playing on the Xbox version, just for clarity's sake. So you can play it like actually as a virtual reality game in the context on the PC version. And if this does get a PS4 port, I'm not sure if it will, but I could see it happening, definitely. Then I'm sure they'll make that PSVR compatible. So the main thing, like the aesthetics, I'm a big fan of, honestly. Like, I think the art direction is just really solid. Like, fuck. And yeah, it's so easy, like, especially as the endless mode goes on, to just get sucked into it. And that's the thing, because it's like, there's a time slowing mechanic, where time only progresses based on the speed that you're moving. But so it's like the pace is literally what you set it, but because of that pacing, they're able to like kind of overwhelm you with enemies. Like they're all one-hit kill enemies, but because they're moving like at your pace, because they're stuck at your pace, the game is able to kind of like get away with like throwing more of them at you, or like them getting you from like angles that you're not seeing them from. Now it's like if you're fast and like you're not an idiot like I am, you can like see through these things a lot of the time and negotiate them. So it really does just come down to like the mastery of the mechanics. And the thing that that really like strikes me about Superhot, like if it was just a cool premise, that would be fine, and that would make for like a fun little game, but it wouldn't be worth like nearly 25 bucks. Like on PC I think it's 14, but on the console it's like 25, and I was like kind of sticker shocked by that because I wasn't expecting it. But honestly, like as much as I have been playing the game, I would say that price is worthwhile for me, but you know, your mileage may vary and all that. But yeah, I feel like the main thing that really helps make Superhot worth it is that it just has this incredible like level of depth in terms of play. Now I played through Quantum Break when that came out last month, and Quantum Break is like an okay game. Like I think it's very much a embodiment of everything that Remedy's been trying to do, and that's cool. Like their whole like affection for movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Like it's definitely all of that coming through. But like the thing that I think makes that I play this way more than Quantum Break, just because like I'm a big fan of like I think I've alluded to it a bit on this channel before, but I'm a big fan of like Platinum games, and like I really love character action games. That's probably my overall favorite genre. But I feel like the depth of play of mastery in terms of mechanics is really what makes this game special. Like this is a level of like Jesus. This is a level of like attention to mechanics and like how much the more there is, how rewarding it is as a player to like figure like all these tricks and stuff out. Like it's borderline Vanquish level, I would say. Like this is actually probably the closest we've gotten to a Vanquish in a first-person mode from a Western company. So it's like it only has the one, like I'm trying to think of how to put this. Quantum Break had a lot of like little tricks, like a lot of time powers, although they really kind of only do the same thing. Like when you get down to it, like they're all like variations on time stop. But even though Superhot is built around only one gimmick, they've enriched that gimmick so much that like the whole game is like a lot more complex as a result of that attention to detail and that depth. It's like, so time only moves when you do, so you can do stuff like dodge. So it's like you can set the pace for enemies, you can position better, you can dodge bullets and stuff like that. But it's like there's also a lot of cool tricks, like you can throw weapons at enemies to stun them and then grab their weapons and then just hit them with those. You can like throw weapons at the wall. You can like throw weapons or miss horribly like that. Do stuff like this. You can like block bullets by throwing weapons at them. You can like jeez. You can block bullets by throwing weapons or objects at enemies. You can stun an enemy, and then you can get that basically, if you follow up with a melee attack, that counts as like an extra hit. So normally, like a guy takes 3 hits to kill, like barehanded, but if you throw an object at them, the objects never kill them, but that can like shave a hit off, so you can make 2 hits instead. Like you can throw, if you have a weapon that still has ammo in it, you can like throw that. Like objects break and weapons break when you throw them at an enemy, but Jesus, holy crap. But if you throw that weapon at the wall, it won't break. So like here, I can fire at an enemy, and then there's like a short reload time. But if I toss it at the wall, and then I grab it again, there's a little bit of a cooldown between when you can grab it again. But if I grab it again, then it just skips the reload animation, and I can just fire again. And then I can just die, which is great. So yeah, you can do all kinds of things, like you throw objects at enemies, and then that'll throw their weapon off. Usually it will throw the weapon back. God damn it, it's like this game, I feel like you do have to concentrate quite a bit, or at least it's my own fault, honestly. No, I was expecting him to lead. Like, there is a lot of like because of the time stock mechanic, it's like they throw a lot of enemies at you, and then in order to get more efficient kills, you really have to figure out how to lead them, which is important. So they're like there's a nice dichotomy, I feel like, between the weapons. There's only the three like projectile-based weapons. There's the pistol, which fires 5 shots and has like a short reload, like semi-automatic style reload. Then there's the shotgun, which you only get 2 shots, but it's like they fire clusters of bullets, so you can hit multiple guys with it at the same time. And then there's the machine gun, which fires 3 rounds of 4 bullets. But if you maneuver, and it has no reload time because it's an fully automatic weapon. But if you position yourself, but if you take advantage of the time slow and position yourself, you can like take out multiple enemies on different angles and stuff like that. So it's like I feel like it's really easy. Like it seems incredibly fitting that the whole meta of the game is person who gets stuck inside, who plays the game too much and gets stuck inside the game. But like honestly, that has been my fucking weekend. So like I honestly find that kind of hilarious. Jesus Christ. The physics are a little bit wonky. It can be like easier than you would think to get to like try and attempt a throw, and then it doesn't go exactly where you want it to. Stop that guy. So most of there are a few melee based son of a bitch. I knew that was gonna go bad. I should have just hit him. Yeah, so there's a mechanic that they introduced later in the game called or hot switch. So let's see. So if I throw this at that guy and then I hot switch into him, basically you can swap bodies. Now, normally when you swap bodies, just straight off, they throw any weapon that they have equipped. But if you stun them beforehand by throwing an object at them, and then you can just swap to the body and then grab the weapon that they've dropped instead of like if they'd thrown it. So there are a lot of like little tricks like that like you can honestly just spend hours in the game like just getting better at it, I feel like. And I just really appreciate games that are built around like not necessarily like, I don't really go in for a lot of games with like 10-hour quests or whatever, or like 8,000 side quests. Like honestly, the Witcher games and stuff like that will just bore me to tears. But I will spend like hours on like a game like this, or like Bayonetta, or like Bulletstorm, like games where you can just kind of get sucked into mechanics, and there are like all kinds of little tricks in there that are just baked in, not like skills that you upgrade, but that you can learn and get better at over time. There we go. And sometimes it's like you'll break the... So there are only a few melee weapons in here that'll actually like perform a kill. There's like bats and crowbars, like anything stick-shaped you can use as a cudgel, basically. But only the katana... But the katana is like honestly the best one. And it is kind of nice to have a game that actually respects the katana as a disposable weapon, because like the katana will never break unless it's straight up shot, and like the katana will never break unless it's straight up shot. You can throw it. You can make kills by throwing it, and it has the fastest like cooldown. Like most of the melee weapons have a little bit of a cooldown where you have to wait for it to reset. Like not in terms of seconds, but in terms of like the frames of the animation and stuff like that. Here, let me try this one more time, and then we'll go somewhere else. Because it's like... Oh yeah, and another nice thing I noticed is that like you can hit the enemy like when you're trying to get in close and make the take a weapon. As long as you can hit the like the front, like their hand, and that'll count as like hitting the body. And then there's all kinds of shit you can do, like you can throw objects to block bullets. You can also like, it's hard to do this in the moment, but like you can block bullets with other bullets too. And with the katana, you can even like cut bullets. So it's like there's all kinds of like goofy John Woo Matrix bullshit that you can get away with. And I feel like that's what really makes... I feel like in addition to like the depth of mastery and like the appeal of the aesthetics and just like watching dudes fall into literal pieces and stuff like that, there's that aspect of it being like of like living out the fantasy of like a slow motion or like time ramped like shooter game or like shooter movie or like action movie, I should say. Like fuck, what am I saying? And like you can do this stupid revengeance bullshit too. Yeah, one thing I like to do is I like to keep the katana close because it's nice to have the weapon to switch to, and then it's like if you can, you kind of switch between, you kind of hover around one spot, switch between weapons. So like, I'll take that guy out, drop that, grab the sword while that reloads, throw at that guy. Like, it's really, like, the katana is actually surprisingly viable as an option for getting through... Fuck. Oh my god, I was like, I got saved, and then I did not. So that's great. Alright, let's try something else then. Let's see, we'll go... Back in the endless, we'll go to a different level. Now I tried there's actually quite a bit of stuff to unlock. So again, I feel like the money is always a your mileage may vary kind of thing, especially like now that like a lot of indie games are more expensive, which I don't think is unfair, honestly. Like I feel like a lot more, like having more games that cover a broader range of like price points is a good thing, and that there should be more like options, because I mean there are a lot of games that's like I feel like, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into them, and so they do deserve to make more off of that too. I feel like the idea that indie games should be stuck to like a $15 price point, which even people were balking at like even last generation, I feel like that's something to take into consideration. But yeah, there's like tons of stuff in here. There's like, aside from like the core levels, there's also like a ton of challenge modes, which are just like the campaign levels, but they have different restrictors on them and stuff like that. So there's like a katana only setting. There's like you can only throw items. You have like hot switching, which you can swap between bodies and stuff like that. There's like speedrun stuff, but it's like honestly I don't like the speedrun stuff because I'm really bad at that. Like I'm bad at time attack stuff. I'd rather just play like endless, honestly. Let me see. Let's go to a good one. So it's like the thing I appreciate. Like I mentioned, that was like there's definitely like the aspect of wanting it to be like fulfilling the fantasy of like the action of like the arch action film, and it's like there are all these settings in here. In terms of like the campaign levels and also the fucking hell and like the endless stuff that it's like they know, they understand that it's like that's what a lot of people are. It's like there's that common fantasy that you can kind of like want to pull out, like wanting to play out the fucking stupidly, god damn it, elaborate action sequence. Now, honestly, I'm not this bad normally. Like, I'm not great. I've only gotten up to like 80 something, but Jesus. So yeah, you can reload like right that like there when it's not even at the ready animation. You can swing it again, which is great. Now it's like in the later levels, they just come like one after another. Like the pace is way faster than in. Actually, I always want the shotgun, honestly. Oh, time to swat. That was a little bit close.